And now we're going to have the second half of the toast given by the best man, Ed Clark.
Good evening, everyone. Anybody nervous? My name is Ed Clark, and I was lucky enough that Joe chose me to be his best man. On behalf of these newlyweds, I'd like to thank everyone for being here today. And I'd like to thank the parents, Mr. and Mrs. Seifert, and Mr. and Mrs. Dick, because without them, I'd probably be doing this speech in a grove in South Park right now. Specifically, I'd like to thank Bev for the daily lectures the last 3 months on not screwing this speech up. And I'd also like to thank the bridesmaids for looking so good tonight. I've known Joe for a pretty long time now. It all started out one summer afternoon before our 4th grade year. We were playing some football in my front yard with the neighborhood kids. And unfortunately that day, Joe wasn't on my team. And I say this because Joe was a really big guy. And before the game was over, I must have made Joe pretty mad because he hit me from behind, knocked me over my brick wall, face first onto my concrete porch. And he did this all in front of my father. That day would soon be known as the day that Joe Dick was banned from my house for life. Needless to say, that ban didn't last very long, because over the years, whether it was growing up in Bethel, or going off to IUP, living together freshman year, which I vowed never to do again, to living together again senior year, to graduation, and off to Pittsburgh to start our careers. This is generally the point in the best man speech where the best man would humiliate the groom with drunken stories of craziness. Unfortunately at IUP, when Joe was out getting drunk and crazy, I was in the library. And after graduation, when Joe was down on the south side getting drunk and crazy, I was working late. So I can't help you with those stories of humiliation, but I think these guys to my left, if you really want one, they can tell you about it later. One thing I can tell you about Joe is this. I don't have a person in the world that I wouldn't call before Joe, because he is always there for you when you really need it. And I've needed it a few times. And that's why I have no doubt that Joe's going to make a terrific husband. And Molly, you made an excellent choice. Speaking of Molly, I remember when Joe and Molly first started seeing each other, I got a call from Joe that said, "Hey Ed, I'm seeing this new girl, I want you to come down and meet her." Now, I don't know if it's a guy thing or just me and my friends, but there's a rule that you actually can't like someone that your buddy's dating. And I said I'd be down, walked into, I think it was the sports bar down in the strip district. Thank you, Tony, Sports Rock. Give it up to Tony. He's had a long day. He had to pull out the carpet and do all the other things. Thank you. So, I walk in, I see Joe, immediately says, I want to introduce you to Molly. I think at the time, Molly was talking to a couple of her friends. Walked over, Molly introduced herself to me, and I thought, wow, she's hot. But my second thought was, well, I wonder what's wrong with her. Well, over the next several months, whether it was hanging out at Joe's house, or going out to the bars, or late night sheets runs for MTOs, I found out that not only is Molly a beautiful woman, but she's a great person. And anyone that can put up with Joe for this long gets my blessing. Now, for those of you that know me, I enjoy my singlehood. But looking at these two, and not just today, because everybody should look happy and great at their wedding, but whether it's, hungover on a Sunday morning, those two sitting on the couch in their sweatpants, I can tell how much they mean to each other, how much they enjoy each other's company, how much they love each other. And that gives me hope. That wasn't supposed to be funny. Hope that one day I too can find someone special. And on a side note, if there's any single ladies here tonight that would like to give me a jump start on finding someone special, I can be found near the bar after dinner. But in all seriousness, before Bev cuts me off,
and I'm ready to.
thank you. To Joe and Molly, may you two have a lifetime of happiness together. The best is yet to come. I love you guys.
All right, let's give Ed a big round of applause. Good job, Ed.